PokeRamble Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the PokeRamble Podcast. Yes, we've been away a week, but we're back to look at 2020 in review. Well, Pokemon in review to be more precise. Let's see how the Pokemon Company have done this year. Welcome to episode 27. Yes, you heard right, episode 27 of the PokeRamble Podcast. I'm your host, Kamal, and joining me, as always, is my good old friend, Amit.
Hey!
How's it going, Battle Frontier Brain?
I'm good. It's nice to be back.
Do you know what's really crazy? Like, in the week that's been off, it looks like my Streamlabs has, updated, and everything looks like it's running at 60 frames per second. Now, most people have been like, what are you talking about, you maniac? It's just, when you're talking, it kind of shows you, your sound levels.
Yes.
You can see this little green bar going up and down. It looks a lot more fluid than it used to, so that's why I'm thinking it's running at 60 rather than 30. But yes, that's enough of my nonsense. What's new?
As opposed to 30?
Yes, as opposed to 30.
Huh. Are you sure it's not just that it... Oh, well, maybe it does refresh faster. Fair enough. That's cool.
It definitely looks like it has.
No, I'm good. Do you know what number 27 is in the Kanto Pokedex?
Is it...
Or the National Dex?
Is it... Sandslash?
It's Sandshrew.
Ah, close.
Very close.
Close.
Yes, little Sandshrew.
Sandshrewd. Haha.
Ah, very good. Yeah, I guess just in time for Christmas, we can celebrate Alolan Sandshrew next week, or Sandslash next week.
Oh, that's a shout. It's almost as as if the universe sort of guided us this direction.
I wonder if this time next year we'll be talking about Ninetales. Is that too good to be true? It's got to be around that number, right? Ninetales is sort of 60-ish.
I tried to come up with some sort of fox pun. It's just not coming to me today for some reason. It's really, no. I've fallen foul. Get it? Foul?
Nice.
Yeah, there we go. That even might have been a bust, to be honest with you. But yeah,
no, you're good.
Yeah, is that one for the farmers to appreciate?
Our big farmer demographic.
Yeah, we're not talking about farmer as in medicine. We're talking about as in on the fields at 5 a.m. Hates daylight savings. That kind of farmer.
I like that if you were going to explain farmers to a caveman, your start would be in the fields at 5 a.m.
Yeah, not the massive corporations making paracetamols and stuff like that. Oh dear. Yeah, farmer, for those who don't know, short for pharmacist, or pharmaceutical, probably more relevant. How have we got here? Which is actually quite fitting to get into the main topic.
We were talking about Sandshrew.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm talking about 2020. So 2020, it's been a year, hasn't it? It feels like one of those years that you're never going to forget, but for mostly the wrong reasons. But, when you really look down at it and seen what you've sort of achieved in and stuff like that, there's some positives to take from it, I guess.
Yeah, and we'll obviously talk about in a moment this in the Pokemon context. But yeah, it's been a year. And there's been some really good points from a Pokemon perspective, some great points. But it's been a hard year for some people, and I hope that in some way 2021 is better for every single person.
Yeah, just what I wanted to hear, with a new variant in the UK. Oh, hello.
Let's not. I'm struggling to even have conversations with Sophie about what should we do for Christmas and stuff like that now, because it's bumming me out. So let's not go there.
But if it helps you, I've just heard planes are being grounded because no European country is gonna let anyone from Britain in. So hey, we've got Brexit. We've got Brexit in some sense. I don't know if this was the sense they wanted it, but hey.
I literally was just watching Have I Got News for You, and they were like, "Hey, you guys wanted us to have something in the news other than Brexit. What's your problem?" Yeah, right.
Very true. Well, apart from Brexit, apart from coronavirus, apart from my general ramblings on this podcast, since we call it the PokeRamble Podcast, 2020 in Pokemon, where are we with that? How do you think it's went this year?
It's been an exciting year for new stuff, I think. We had the first ever DLC to a Pokemon game. We had Pokemon Cafe. We had the announcement about I wanted to call it Pokemon Smite, but of course that's not. It's a rip-off of Smite.
Pokemon Smite, Pokemon Unite.
Because
it rhymes.
Pokemon Unite.
Yeah.
Because it's a rip-off of Smite, right? Let's be honest. Pokemon Unite. The only thing really that we didn't get. Pokemon Snap 2. Shout out to Pokemon Snap, the remaster or whatever they're going to call it. The only thing we haven't had in 2020.
The full name is going to be like New Pokemon Snap rather than anything else, which is a really weird name.
That makes
listen,
this is Nintendo, who managed to somehow name the same console the same thing, but change it like 15 different times with the DS.
Yeah, that's true. This is a 2DS XD HD 2.1 Remix Kingdom Hearts edition. Oh dear, let's not even get into naming conventions.
But I feel like 2020 has been a really good year for new stuff. We had a new anime. Well, no, the anime I guess for Japan started last year.
It started in November, last year.
But the UK, the English release, Western release started this year.
Yeah, and I think it's actually hit into its sort of full stride now, where the first few episodes is them sort of feeling it out, and they were good for the most part. But I think when you got to like December into January, that's when it was like, oh, they're building something here. They're building something special here. So yeah. So should we talk about sort of Pokemon announcements and whatnot then for this year? Well, we can obviously
your
start
highlights
with,
and highlights and lowlights, right?
I think 2018 we sort of learnt about. 2019 we sort of learned about Pokemon Sleep. That's gone AWOL. When people say something's a sleeper hit, this is more like a sleeper miss. It just hasn't turned up. It just hasn't turned up this year.
That has been the biggest letdown of 2020.
Yeah, the biggest amongst all. Just when we needed it, it decided not to turn up.
It's like the market is perfect for Pokemon Sleep right now.
Yeah. Oh man, I had a nap on like Friday, I think it was. No, it was Thursday. Thursday I had a nap after work, and I tell you what, those 2 hours were like some of the best 2 hours of my life, honestly. It was amazing.
Do you think that's what's happened to the developers of Pokemon Sleep? Is like they just had a nap and they were like, "This is great," and they just fell asleep. And
it's just like an eternal nap. They've gone into a cryo chamber, and like next thing you know, they're in Fallout 76 because of the current pandemic or something. Sorry, I shouldn't make jokes like that, but
it has been the most fun coming up with stupid jokes about Pokemon Sleep every week.
Yeah,
but there is a little part of me every week that's disappointed that there's no news.
You might say the biggest joke of 2020 has been the fact that Pokemon Sleep still hasn't released, even though it was supposed to years ago.
They slated it for a Q3, Q4 2020 release, right?
Yeah.
That was the original announcement. We are now a couple of days away from Christmas, and we've not even got a whisper of news.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like I'm genuinely a little bit sad every week that there's just nothing about it, because at this point
that they haven't even addressed it across having several Pokemon Directs or whatever, it's kind of baffling, to be honest with you.
And don't get me wrong, like projects get cancelled or projects get delayed, and that's totally normal in this day and age. But tell us,
yeah, and I guess
there's no shame in that.
The reason why it's probably delayed is probably primarily because of the Pokemon Go Plus minus HD edition, or whatever they want to call it now. But I think probably with sort of like, material supplies and whatnot, I guess, this is me just coming up with some sort of excuse in my head. Probably they just couldn't get the parts they wanted, or they couldn't build it at a price they felt was profitable to them for the time being. So maybe that's why they've sort of pushed it. Or they've thought maybe with the current pandemic and with there being restrictions in many countries, would it be the right time to release that sort of product where it's not only you taking it to bed with you with Pokemon Sleep, but you are using it for outdoor activities? And maybe they're thinking, well, we can't market this properly in this sort of market, so no point releasing it.
Yeah, I think for me, if it is a hardware issue, that's fine. Let's hope they're transparent about it whenever it happens. But I think it was one of those things that just was so off the cuff and unexpected that I got really excited about it. And I've tried everything. I tried Pokemon Smile when it came out. I will try Pokemon Sleep. I'll try Pokemon Unite. Doesn't matter how weird it is. If it's Pokemon themed, I'll try it. It's a shame because I feel like Pokemon Sleep could be quite a good addition to my life. Yeah,
one that many people need. But I guess you sort of, that's Pokemon Sleep for you in 2020. It just didn't land when it was supposed to land. And I guess the other thing to talk about is Pokemon Smile. That was another release for 2020. In fact, it released quite close to its announcement, didn't it? maybe a day or so afterwards.
Didn't it come out? Yeah, like a day afterwards. It was probably the most embarrassing I've ever looked playing a video game ever.
Oh dear.
Wildly inappropriate.
Well,
but it was good fun. It was good fun.
You know, they got me to go to the dentist. You know, have lots of injections and stuff like that. So no, good on Pokemon Company. But yeah, gamifying. You know, brushing teeth, and you can see Pokemon now are trying to get into this sort of lifestyle sort of range of things now. Well, how do you've probably used this term before, but how do you say basically gamifying everyday things? You know, they're trying to get into everyday routines. Yeah, and stuff like that.
That's the right word. It's the right word. What aspect of your life that is not currently gamified do you wish Pokemon would gamify?
Oh, I would like a Pokemon exercise game, because there are stuff like
Ring Fit.
Yeah, they've got Ring Fit, but if there was like a Pokemon themed Ring Fit where you're catching Pokemon, like, do you remember Pokemon Pinball? Where you're playing pinball, but you're like at the same time you're catching Pokemon whilst playing pinball and stuff like that. I love that. Like, you're running after like a Pikachu, and then like if you're like doing a hard mode of a jog, then you're running after a Zeraora or like a Tapu, not Bulu. What's the fast one? Tapu Koko, for example. Like,
so are we?
Yeah, that's.
So are we? Do you mean like, you know, in like the Wii Sports style, like you're boxing with the champ?
Yeah. So gamifying exercise in general, like Wii Sports, but with Pokemon essentially.
I actually feel like the market for that will probably be very, very good.
Well, yeah, you saw like early lockdown what happened with something like Wii Fit, Nintendo
Ring Fit Adventure.
Yeah, that's the one. Nintendo's Ring Fit Adventure. The fact that it was sold out almost everywhere, scalpers were buying them up, and like the premium on those things were marked up by like double or triple at times. You know, it would have helped this year certainly. So
absolutely,
that's maybe one facet of my life I'd like to gamify a bit more if I can with a Pokemon sort of gloss on it. But what about yourself then?
This is going to sound strange. I really want to gamify cooking, because I want to cook more, and like, having nice home-cooked food is the best feeling ever, but the effort of cooking and washing up and all that other stuff is too much. Well, and I need Pokemon to gamify that for me.
Well, talking about cooking, Pokemon Calf then. That came out this year.
That was probably one of the like most sort of undersold releases, where they were just very quick. They were like, it's coming, it'll be here, and then it came.
It just came, yeah.
And it was adorable. We say it all the time, like, it was so adorable.
Yeah, it's one of those games that people really like, you know, unironically they really enjoy it. And like, whilst I couldn't sort of get into it because maybe I've played too many Pokemon puzzle games like it, or like just puzzle games in general.
It's doing really well.
Yeah, it is, surprisingly. And like the content they're constantly adding content, which is always a good thing for a mobile game where you've always got something fresh and new to do. You know, with these special customers, you got like these now Christmas customers. You got Shiny Celebi that's just been announced for it. You know, it's really cool. And like
Christmas Lucario is great.
I look at some of the dishes in the game, and it's just like, you know, that looks like it could be plausible. Like, you've got the Pokemon Calf, obviously, in like Tokyo, Osaka, all those kind of places, and they have like Pokemon dishes and stuff like that.
I thought Pokemon Cafe in the real world sold some of the dishes in the game.
I don't know specifically if it was like a 1-to-1, but yeah, they sell Pokemon like dishes. Like when I was in Japan, they were doing like a Pokemon sort of Johto themed one, and I tried to book it before I left on my trip, and like it was booked out for like 2-3 months in advance. It was absolutely insane. You couldn't get space. But yeah, that'll be a sort of like you're saying, gamifying cooking a bit more. That sounds fun. I mean, it's not. I don't know how it's gonna look for me. Like, you know, bringing someone over and be like, "Oh, I'll cook it for you," and just like a bloody Jigglypuff on the plate or something like that. You know. But then if she just doesn't mind it, then hey, she's a keeper. You know. Oh dear.
Dude, I got Jigglypuff in my advent calendar yesterday.
Oh yeah. You tell the people about your advent calendar.
Sophie very kindly bought me the Pokemon Advent Calendar, which I think is one of the first ones that they've done. But I got a tree and a sleigh, and then loads of Pokemon figurines. It's super cute. I've got like Cubone and Growlithe and Stuffle, Jigglypuff. I'm trying to pick some of the non-Gen 1 ones. Oh, Apom, Piplup. Yeah, it's really cool.
It seems like there's a lot of anime, how do you say, a lot of the contingent from the anime in terms of that Pokemon, like Apon's appeared, Piplup's appeared.
Yeah,
like,
Munchlax is there, Ditto's there.
Yeah,
Like it's
protagonist
definitely
sense.
it's definitely more of like the fan favorite side of things, but
Yeah.
it's super cute. Like, and I understand why they're more fan favorites because it's you need to sell the product.
I
but
like for the
it's super
price
cool.
of the calendar it's well worth it. I'd say, looking at it. I
Yeah,
was
Pokemon,
half
like little
tempted,
Pokemon toys
but-
are not cheap.
Yeah. Talking of cheap, Pokemon Smite. I mean, Pokemon Unite. Well, when this was announced, initially there was a lot of uproar about it. People were not happy. And I guess it was partly down to people's expectations and what they were thinking an announcement was going to be versus what it actually was.
Well, I think the biggest mistake they made with the announcement for Pokemon Smite is it was a standalone announcement.
Pokemon
where
Unite, but
there
you're
was-
being facetious, aren't you? There.
Just a little.
Yeah.
They had a Pokemon Direct and they teed up all of these weird and wonderful games. And people were super happy, super excited, and they were like, "Come back next week, and there'll be a really good one." And
Do
we
you
were like,
remember
"Okay, we'll come
me,
back next week."
with my paint version of look at the background. It's so obvious what they're going to release. And actually, I mean, in hindsight, I should have cited that I was actually in Japan in 2019, and when I got off at Kansai Airport, there's a Pokemon store in the airport. And at that time, they were doing a Johto sort of I don't know if you can call it themed, but it was basically all the plushes there were focusing on the Johto generation. And I think they're only now switching over to the Hoenn generation of plushes. But I should have known that they were just promoting that and forgetting that in Japan that was what was going on. So yeah, when we did our episode there, I completely blanked out of that's sort of what I saw, and that's probably why they've got that in the background, because
that makes sense.
And we also saw that blacked out Pikachu, which you were like, hang on a minute, this is not good in this current climate to be doing that. And then we later find out that actually no, it's like a whole series of Pokemon toys that are specifically just
because it came just after the sort of Black Lives Matter movement was really starting to get underway, and I was like, that's not how you show support for Black Lives Matter. Blacking up Pikachu is not the answer. But it makes a bit more sense in the context of what's now come out.
So I can't remember what they call it. Maybe the Lightning series or something like that. But yeah,
it's like the Pikachu collection or something.
Well, there's Meowth and stuff like that. That's also got those colors. So yeah,
it makes sense to me.
So yeah, no, I think what the lesson is for 2021 with me and you is just find out what's happening in Japan in terms of merchandise and not pay attention to the background.
Hey, listen, that's what we pay you for, all right? You're the Japan expert.
Oh, I'll take it. So yeah, Pokemon Unite. I mean, I was on the assumption, because I think they already were gearing up for a beta, or the game was playable in a beta state. I was actually assuming that it would be releasing this year, but
I actually reckon most people thought it was going to release this year purely because there was a it seemed like it was playable. The game seemed pretty final form, and to have a playable version for the stream or the direct, normally means that you're not a million miles away from go live.
No, I think they didn't even call it an alpha. I think it definitely was like a beta version at least.
Yeah, exactly.
They're calling it free to start as well. So
yeah, but I guess there's lots of reasons why things have been delayed this year, and understandably so. But yeah, it was just such an odd one, and I mean, we obviously need to talk about the job advert that was posted this week by Tencent.
Yeah, why don't we just link it in now with Tencent announcing that they were hiring people with quite an array of sort of qualifications. I think most of them. Yeah,
so Tencent put out an advert. Tencent put out an advert this week for a Pokemon consultant. We can only assume to work on Pokemon Unite. And what they listed as the requirements for this person who they were going to employ, you had to have watched 500 episodes of the anime.
And for context, I think we're around episode 1,100 and something at the moment. So
so divide that by 3, right?
Or it's 0.4% of. I'm sorry, it's 40% of total episodes that aired roughly.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, you say that's it, but 1,100 and something of Pokemon anime at the moment. It's no.
Yeah, but if you let's say you're at 1,200 episodes, nice round number.
Mm-hmm.
They're about 20 minutes each, so divide it by 3. That's only 400 hours of content.
I mean, look, for most people, who's going to sit down and watch 400 hours of content?
No, I know, but Tencent made it 500. I was like, well, there hasn't been, or if there has, it's close to 500 hours of the anime. That's borderline every episode.
No, because that's half, not even half of all the episodes. Like I said, it's like 45% of all episodes that have aired. So
No, but it wasn't 500 episodes. It was 500 hours.
Is it? No. I think you might have got that
this
wrong.
was my point. I think it was 500 hours.
Hang on, I'll bring up.
You check it while I talk about the other things.
Yeah.
The other requirements, you had to have completed every game in Pokemon. So, like, gym badges and the works.
You had to have.
And you had to have 900 plus hours.
No, do you think that was collectively? Was it collectively?
It must be collectively because there's no way
most people would have 999 hours. I mean, most people that sort of do the post game content and stuff like that would naturally have like 999 hours in any game cart anyway. So,
not 999 hours.
Yes, 999 hours. Have you not seen that?
No.
No, 500 plus episodes of an anime, by the way.
Oh, was it episodes?
Yeah.
Well, that's nothing then.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I think my friend Alex Kazina might have already got that on his cart as well. And even if you don't, it's just a thing of just leaving your DS on or your Switch on probably for a while if you wanted to fake qualifications and stuff like that. So
no, I mean I've definitely got 900 hours cumulative across all of the games.
Oh no, I
Easily
like
900 hours.
shiny hunters definitely have easily like 999 hours in some sort of cart. Something like that.
Yeah, that's fair. So the only one I'll have, the only single game I probably have over 900 hours in is Pokemon Emerald.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
For that freaking Battle Frontier Battle Factory gold medal, where the freaking AI uses sheer cold 3 times and lands 3 one-hit KOs.
Yeah, I mean, you look at 900 hours, but usually when you've cleared a Pokemon game, you're at 40 hours, maybe 50 hours, I'd say, if you're playing slowly, I guess. Yeah. Definitely, when I was playing like something like Pokemon Silver, which actually makes more sense now, I would have been around there when I finished it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then the other things you needed to have achieved Master rank in any month of the VGC ladder on Pokemon Sword and Shield,
which you've done multiple times, and like it just puts you down the rank, doesn't it? After every season.
Yeah. So at the end of every season, you go back to Great Ball rank 9, and then if you don't, Great Ball rank 8, and then you can get yourself back up to Master pretty quickly. I think you need 3 consecutive wins.
Mm-hmm.
But the grind from level 1 to level 10 is, still something. Not everyone will have done that.
Competent, right?
Yeah, and then I think the last one was you need to have a wide appreciation of Pokemon lore.
Yeah, you have to know the history of Pokemon, essentially.
Dude, watch this podcast. Unknown fact of the week, I have that covered.
Very much so. And they were recruiting for 19 of them, I think. 19
Pokemon consultants?
Or related jobs, I'd say.
I cannot believe... Oh, so I looked at the job listings. There were 20 total job listings, of which that was one of them. But if they were hiring 19 Pokemon consultants, and I don't get invited, I would have been furious.
No, and maybe not working for Tencent's not the worst thing in the world. But that aside, yeah. Do you think it's just for Pokemon Unite? I have a sneaky feeling that they're working on something else, or will be working on something else.
I quietly hope that it's for Pokemon Unite, because I want that to be the best game it can be first before they start diverting resources to other games. I mean,
yeah.
I think the best example of that is Rumble Rush, where it was the mobile adaptation of Rumble Rush was great, but it just didn't have enough to keep it going in terms of revenue.
I felt it was missing a bit in it. It was fun, certainly the sort of, but it didn't feel as fun as the one I played on 3DS, for example.
Oh, really? Fair enough. But that's my point, right? That's my point. Is like, make that game the best it can be.
Yeah.
Don't just churn out games for the sake of churning out games.
Yeah. Well, and clearly it just didn't do what they wanted it to do, and they killed it off quite.
I might be the only person who quietly hopes that Pokemon Unite comes with a campaign mode, and I don't care if I got to pay for it. I quietly hope it comes with a campaign mode.
Like, actually,
single player campaign.
I'd for mobile games, I usually would say like, look, if you're gonna have a campaign mode, don't give me an option of like either buying it one off for 20 quid, or having to wait 24 hours to get to X point or whatever.
Yeah, I'd rather just pay one off.
Yeah, but I don't. Well, I'm happy that they're recruiting, Pokemon consultants, because I think you need to have people there that know what they're talking about, who are passionate about, those sorts of franchises, and know how, generally how the sort of player base would feel. I mean, if you've watched 500
I think what astonishes
anime,
me,
if you've got to the Master Ball ranking of Pokemon, if you got your games about 900 playtime, you generally would be sort of plugged into the sort of wider community, wouldn't you?
I think the bit that astonishes me, though, is that they're only recruiting for one at this stage. And also, why wouldn't you just second someone from the Pokemon company?
Yeah, but it's one thing being a representative from a company, and it's another thing being a fan of that company. I mean, for example, we've seen with like most of the games, I guess bar Sword and Shield now, where from Gen 2 or Gen 1 you've had this rival that's a bit angsty. Gen 2 you've had this rival that's genuinely, at some point portrayed as a potential enemy. In
really?
Silver.
I feel like Gen 3 is the only one that is your friend. Like, genuinely your friend.
Gen 6?
Fair enough.
Gen 5? Like,
no, Gen 5. Gen 5, Hugh hates you. Oh, that's Black White 2. Fair enough.
Bianca, Sharon,
I was thinking of Black and White 2.
Yeah. So, it's just like most of the player base have wanted, a rival to actually act like a proper rival, not this like friendly, hold your hands, let's go to the Pokemon League together sort of guy.
Yeah, How was probably the most annoying character in Gen 7, not because How is a poorly designed character, but actually, I think he's a great character. It's just that he was at the end of every corner to say, this corner's a right turn and this corner's a left turn.
Like, why can't they go diagonally? I'll never understand.
I can see the corner. It's okay.
It's like, how is it that these characters still can't go diagonally? They'll have to like they'll walk, they'll stop, and then they'll shift their body and walk upwards. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's so funny.
But that's still true even in Gen 8. Like Zacian in Gen 8 had some of the worst animation in Pokemon Camp. Like, have you seen things of like Zacian moonwalking and stuff? Where he just gets to the edge of the screen and just starts moonwalking backwards.
Oh god, I don't think I can ask the Pokemon Company for anything else. They've just given me Zacian moonwalking, so oh god. That's genuinely funny. That's great. So yeah, Pokemon Unite, it's gonna come next year, and we've basically both said we're going to try it at the very least, so let's see how that goes.
Yeah, maybe stream a game or two. It'll be interesting to try.
This year we got Pokemon, or new Pokemon Snap announced, which I know you're very excited about.
Oh, isn't everyone? It's the game we've been crying out for 20 years.
Yeah, playing Bug Stacks, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for some Pokemon
The one thing I really loved about the original Pokemon Snap was it was the first game that really made Pokemon feel like part of the natural world.
Yeah.
And it brought that world to life in a way that no game has ever done so. I mean, the anime obviously goes a long way towards it, but the games never did that for me until Pokemon Snap. And Pokemon Snap predates the anime in my timeline anyway, because I didn't get to the anime till a bit later. So for me, like, it was the way in which I finally understood, oh, these guys are like wild animals and they live happily in harmony with nature, and then humans just come along and tear all that up. Cool. I understand now.
You're starting to sound like N.
I mean...
Oh god. So yeah, that's Pokemon Snap, which we're expecting to come next year. Well, it was never going to come this year. It's still
no, that was always slated for next year.
So,
but talking of things that did come this year, just to bring the topic back, I thought it would be worth talking about the DLCs for Sword and Shield, and the first time really that we've done DLC.
And can I just add that this is my preferred way of getting new Pokemon content for current games.
Yeah, and we talked about it when we first heard way back when we first heard the announcement that it was getting DLC.
That might be our first ever rebooted PokeRamble podcast.
It might well have been. Yeah. And we were really pro the idea of not having to just play the same game again just to
I
get to the new
always
bits
shut
at
it
the
like
end.
I thought Sun and Moon were great games, but like having to play through Ultra Sun and Moon again, oh god, like 99% of that game is just recycled. It's
Hey, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Oh, sorry, Base Sun and Moon. They're great games, but they're not great enough that I wanted to play them again.
yeah, or like have to play them a year later with
And Black and White 2, I feel like was the first game that they did it with, but the game was different enough that I genuinely felt like it was worth playing all the way through.
Yeah, the fact that the story had switched. Well, it was a sequel in a sense, wasn't it? Anyway, so
Yes,
that made
rather
all the
than a
difference.
remake. Yeah.
So it was a sequel to begin with. So yeah, that straight away adds to it. You know, seeing like these characters you've known from the last game had grown up and done like different things. You know, ends there doing his thing. Getsus is being Getsus again, like Unova, Frozen.
Yeah,
Disney.
and we talked about in a previous episode the X and Y 2s that were cancelled. We talked about that leak, and
when we all thought Zygarde will actually feature prominently.
Yeah,
and
I think I feel like just with the amount of content that X and Y sort of shoveled in at the end, there was enough to justify it making a sequel that was a genuine sequel and not like a redo.
Like for the most part, X and Y felt more like a tech demo for what 3D Pokemon could look like.
Yes, that was exactly my take. Is like a lot of it felt so rebooted. And like, they made all the references to Kanto and they gave you the Kanto starts again. It felt like sort of a restart point for the Pokemon universe. I would have been interested to see what a sequel might have looked like, but for me, DLC was always the right way to bring more to a story.
When we got Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it's probably what made it so good is that X and Y was there where they've, sort of learned how to make these 3D assets, how to make 3D work, and then you got Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, a remake of an old game, but vastly enhanced bar, one thing that was missing, which you know what I'm talking about from Emerald. But I wish we had DLC back then to add that in, post game if they weren't gonna have it. And I guess really, the other day I was thinking, has 3D made Pokemon worse in a way? Do they feel like they can't make as much content in these games because it's all in 3D? And the Battle Tower.
Well, I mean, that was definitely one of the big criticisms. That was definitely one of the big criticisms of Sword and Shield, is that their excuse for not having all of the Pokemon was that it just took too long to make them.
And then we had like a Twitter storm of people making them in 5 minutes. Like, that was amazing. But like, you know what? I think going back in the topic, DLC is my preferred method, and we had 2 DLCs this year, and I think that's probably going to be it for Sword and Shield. I don't think they're going to add any more expansions to it.
There are lots of people speculating there might be, but I agree with you. I think it's unlikely.
I'd be surprised. I don't know where they can take it or how they can entice people. I can't see them making more mythicals or legendaries and stuff like that now. I think they're firmly focusing on ramping up to reveal what would be the next Pokemon game, probably going to be revealed and released by next year, October, November.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we get a Nintendo Direct in February time for something releasing late 2021.
They have to sort of like talk about some sort of campaign they're doing for 2021, considering how much content we got back in 2020. Not 2020, sorry, the 20th anniversary back in 2016, and how every month
we had Year of the Mythicals, didn't we?
There was every month there was something popping up, and not only that, like TCG, they had sort of new sets like Evolutions, which was like a reprint, and I forgot what the other one was, but there was another like sort of 20th anniversary TCG.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of have that coming with the reprint. We kind of have that coming with Shining Star V.
Yeah, and they're definitely doing another sort of set as well for 2021, but they haven't revealed it. No. So DLC, DLC definitely is probably the way to go, and I think they really smashed it with the Crown Tundra DLC. They really brought back some things back from the 2D games that had been missing from the 3D games for quite a while, and that was actually having to do stuff to get your legendaries, having a story behind them, that sort of thing. And like,
my favorite thing in the DLC was that there was actual challenge to some elements of it. Whereas I feel like the Sword and Shield main campaign was just a breeze walkthrough of me steamrolling over every trainer in my path. I felt like the DLC, mainly in Max Adventures, added challenge to the game again.
I guess that's probably some of its best multiplayer content, co-op content.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, 2020 brought us DLC, and I think it was an overwhelming success. For me and my money, probably worth it 100% of the way. So yeah, DLC 2020, very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Two other games with big expansions this year. So Pokemon Go, having its best year ever, despite lockdown.
Mixed on that because COVID has contributed to the game massively.
Can I say purely best year financially? Sorry.
Oh yeah. No,
it's had its best year financially.
But I feel mixed on that because like COVID's done a lot of good for the game in the fact that they've been forced to make quality of life updates, new ways to do raiding. Even if you can't reach a gym, for example, they've like expanded sort of like your circle where you can reach things a bit further that are from you, so it made the game better. In terms of Pokemon spawns, so now even in rural wow, why am I struggling with that word? Rural. Oh my god, help me. There we go. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm lying down at the moment.
You're fine.
Yeah, even in rural areas, more Pokemon spawn now. They've introduced something called seasons with the Gen 6 update where, Pokemon will start spawning. That'll make sense for that season rather than just random Pokemon spawning. But I think, complaint, and it's only come up recently, but Pokemon Go are introducing way too many paid passes for things. For example,
I saw another one on Cerebi the other day, which I think was around Galarian Mr. Mime,
which is ongoing at the moment. And
it just, I can totally understand a pay-to-play mechanic in Pokemon Go, but not when you're excluding some of the base from, the benefits. Like, if it's a way to accelerate the process, like, you can level up your account faster, fair enough. But if you're going to hide certain Pokemon behind a paywall, that feels a little difficult for me to settle
It's not the first time they've done it, but for example, Regigigas was behind like paid content research, and then like later on it came to EX raids and stuff like that. So they will eventually release it. But my biggest problem is the fact that they're releasing too many of these in such a short amount of time. Like, it's no secret that for example, and you don't have to buy it right now, but there's a Kanto pass. Or like this Kanto research day pass. I forgot the name of it. Essentially, it's going to give you a shiny Mew. If you get through, and the tasks game. Actually at the moment, or like people who are looking at the tasks in the background are going like, this is going to be impossible to do, and we don't know if Mew's linked to it. But essentially, the idea is you're going to need to catch all 150 Pokemon in the day, or in the 12 hours, let's say.
No, it's not. You get until February.
Are you? I double checked.
Cerebi said that you have until February to get all 151.
I'll double check because I've read it myself and that's how it read.
Maybe Cerebi misread the data mine, or maybe the data mine was incomplete at the time they posted the article, so maybe it's moved on since then. But it looked like you had until February to catch all 151.
Yeah, so like maybe like that's spawns and stuff like that perhaps, but I guess for a medal it would have been within that day, so you wouldn't be able to get it unless you've got someone there to trade with and whatnot. And like, let's not forget they're producing two different passes, so there's the red pass and the green pass essentially. So like acting like the sort of games where you can only get certain Pokemon in one pass and not the other pass. So
and I think this is probably where, for me, Pokemon Go is now in the realms of, it's so far ahead and so convoluted to jump into that I imagine the new player base is getting, certainly putting me off starting a brand new account in Pokemon Go. It just feels like the journey's too hard.
I don't trust me, it's fine to pick up and whatnot, but when you introduce these passes that are paid passes, fine, one or two are great. Community Day, 79p for this pass where you're getting overwhelmingly good stuff anyway, fantastic, why not? But when you're introducing 3 or 4 passes at a time during a global pandemic where people are already, financially are struggling, and then you're locking Pokemon behind it, and, some people obviously are going to have this fear of missing out, I just don't think it's the right thing to do. And especially when
they're not cheap either, right?
Well, usually they're about 79p, let's say. But
the Mr. Mime one was a couple of quid, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mr. Mime one, I think maybe it was like, I don't know. You might have to fact check me on this, but I think it might have been £7, but you get your money's worth in terms of items and stuff like that. But I just don't see why they're releasing so many at one time, especially when they're already making hand over fist over and over. And I guess it's probably because Niantic want to fund their other projects and whatnot. But yeah, I don't like the way that's going with all those paid passes and content and stuff like that. It's not been in the game from the very beginning. It's definitely added since last year into this year, and I think they're just putting way too much in there at one time. You know, they need to calm down with it. Stop.
It was $7.99.
Yeah, stop exploiting your player base, for God's sake. Stop making them pay for everything. You know, you don't need to like make it for the sake of making it. You know, you can just relax once in a while.
And I think to talk to that point, one of the surprise joys of this year has to be Pokemon Virtual Fest. I mean, let's talk about that.
Wait, let's park that for a second. Let's talk about the other mobile game.
Pokemon Masters.
Yeah, so that started off right this year.
Pokemon Masters, started off phenomenally this year. And yeah, couldn't be further from that pinnacle at the moment, really.
No. And especially how we've been lied to recently. And I'm very much calling it a lie because I can't believe that 60% of a player base is going to say, or at least 60% after the changes they've made are going to say, yeah, this is a great system.
I love that on the Pokemon Masters subreddit now, that's just become the running gag.
Has it?
When someone's like, how do you add this sync pair to your team? Someone's like, 60% of players didn't want you to add that Pokemon to your team.
Yeah, sorry. If people don't know what we're talking about, what's this thing about 60%?
So, DNA put a letter out, letter 16, a couple of days ago, where they basically talked about the next couple of months of the game and what's coming. And one of the main points in that was around the stamina system and the changes they're going to be making to the stamina system. And they said that in their recent survey, which we all participated in, over 60% of players were pro stamina, which feels like a big surprise purely on the basis that I cannot find communities, online or otherwise, who are pro stamina.
Yeah.
In Pokemon Masters.
And I guess it might be a way of how they framed the question when people have responded to a survey, or at the timing where they've responded to it, where, you know, most of the content wasn't locked behind stamina, for example. Events, for example, were never supposed to be behind stamina stuff.
Well, and also you had a lot of new players in the game because it was just after the 1 year anniversary, and when you're a new player, stamina's not a problem because you level up and refresh your stamina all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I guess the good things with Pokemon Masters is if they've added more seasonal pairs now. So, you know, they asked us what we wanted. We said we wanted more seasonal pairs. We're getting more seasonal pairs.
Yeah, and there's a big announcement coming tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Well, in theory, it's like it's supposed to be tomorrow Japan time, but it could be anywhere from tonight to tomorrow.
I totally missed this.
Our time.
Oh, this is in relation to N, isn't it?
In theory.
Oh.
Yeah, so the official announcement for N is supposed to be in the next 12 hours.
It has to be N. It can't be anything else, really.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm really curious about is they said that there's presents coming on the 24th of November. I wonder if
there's going to be like fat gems, just like PHAT gems.
I would not mind that because I'm 9k short of 36k, and I would really like to get Signature Blue.
Yeah.
Before he disappears again.
Man, that banner, for my money, like, if you haven't started Pokemon Masters or you're still like 50 on it, look, just do me a favor, just re-roll for an account a couple of times and try to get red and blue together.
Someone actually put a guide together on Reddit. This banner is by far and away the best value for money since the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And they put down like a priority re-roll list and how to get the most number of gems in the shortest amount of time to make it worth re-rolling for. So no, it's
red and blue for my money are probably two of the best pairs in the game. Full stop. You know, so
yes, no, a lot of people would agree.
Yeah, if you are thinking about playing Pokemon Masters, but you're a bit apprehensive, just re-roll for now. You know, even if you don't play for a while, just re-roll and try to get that red and blue because you're going to be better off in the future for it. To be honest with you. Anyway,
Serena is goddamn.
I still haven't used my tickets, by the way. You know that.
Of course you haven't. Of course you haven't. That's all right. You hang on to those.
Pokemon Masters has been a mixed bag. I mean, for the most part, the stamina system has been horrific. This new sort of event they're doing, which is
pay to win events,
but doesn't make any sense for this sort of game. they've started introducing that, and I'm very curious to see how they're going to make quote unquote adjustments to the next one.
I am curious what the expectations are in DNA around the how long this game is going to last for. Because we saw Rumble Rush die this year, and I think it was a surprise to a lot of people because it was doing okay.
But let's just put this in context. This is the second best sort of performing mobile game.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
It's not even a contest between second and third.
No.
I'll be curious to see how those numbers come out next year. And
the reason why I'm curious is a lot of their unlimited banners end in 2023. And I just wondered whether maybe that was what their forecast was for the duration of the game.
That, or it's just like one of those arbitrary end dates where they're like, okay, look, we're going to give you sufficient time to do this.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, let's see what they do with that. Yeah, Pokemon Masters been a 50-50 year for the most part. I still love the game for all the sort of reasons we've spoken about before, more about the Pokemon universe.
The story, the story, the lore, and the music remain the three best things about that game, and none of that has tarnished.
The occasional time you've got the challenge where you're like, oh, this is quite fun, you know. For example, we're going to get like the Johto sort of...
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, the Johto sort of stadium soon.
Dude, Regirock and the Legendary Arena.
That reminds me, I still have to do mine for this week. I completely forgot about it.
To do what?
My stadium run.
Okay, there's a couple of things ending tomorrow, so make sure you get all over that.
I'm going to do that like after the podcast.
Solgaleo, Regirock, both end tonight.
Oh yeah, Regirock was alright for me for the most part. I mean, if you're not trying to use Brendan, then yeah.
Yeah, if you have Steven, it's way easier. If you don't have Steven, it's a challenge.
Like, I don't think many people are going to believe me, but I use Steven. I can't remember who else I used. I used Steven and a couple of others. Oh, Steven, Blue, and I think it was Swanner as well. I basically ended that with full HP on all three of my pairs.
I finally managed to beat Regirock with 3 sync pairs thanks to Serena.
Oh, Steep spam again.
Serena, Eevee, and Sceptile.
Eevee's good because stat boosts, I guess.
So the whole trick to it is you don't kill the Regirock, you build up some sync buffs really quickly, and then you basically take down bars 2 and 3 instantly.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you
just realised that Normal Leaf, when her EX comes out, that's going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, Eevee's good.
Yeah, Eevee's fun. Eevee's right. She hasn't got her what do you call it?
6-star?
No, the
Grid?
other one. Grid, yeah, the grid.
No grid, no 6-star.
That could be a very good grid.
Yeah.
Oh, and sorry, whilst we're talking about Pokemon Masters, I guess people were going to want to know whether or not they should pull for the Christmas pairs. It's a hard no from me. Don't do it.
Did we not say that last time? Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Unless you really want the Christmas outfits, because you're that kind of person, it's fine.
And if you're going to do it, then probably Skylar.
Nothing we say is going to stop you anyway.
Yeah, Skylar or Verica, if you do it. But if you want some good sync pairs and you think these Christmas ones are the ones that pull for, no. Go to the Kanto banner. Be happy with the Kanto banner. If you're not happy with the Kanto banner...
Or wait 12 hours and see what's coming out.
Save your gems. So yeah, that's Pokemon Masters. What else in 2020? I guess anime.
Virtual Fest.
Oh, Virtual Fest. Go Virtual Fest.
The best bit of free content that came out this year for Pokemon was Pokemon Virtual Fest. You and I had a blast. We had so much fun.
We had a blast. No Team Rocket.
No Team Rocket.
Yeah, no.
They were not there. But it was brilliant. It was just this little quirky thing that just came out of nowhere, and it was so much fun, and it went away, and it was great. No part of that wasn't great.
Now, some dude, God bless his soul, actually was in the game. And what he did in the game is he said nothing. He pressed record, and he managed to record some of the soundtracks. Now, they're not like sort of one for one, sort of like sounding as good as it would have been from Source. But it's there to be like, you know what, this is nostalgic. I miss it.
You may have to link me to that later.
Just Google it. You can't miss it on YouTube. Sorry.
Will do. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was
everything in that game. The manhole covers, the guns, the little water guns, everything about that was great.
Jokes come out of it.
Dude, we found Pokemon Sleep.
We found where they were holding Pokemon Sleep. Yeah.
Dude, everything about Virtual Fest was great.
Allegedly. I'm
trying to think what else came out this year that was super new and super fun. TCG. Yeah, let's talk TCG.
So I guess the biggest thing about TCG is the sort of resurgence on YouTube on TCG.
Okay.
where a lot of streamers, YouTubers are now getting back into Pokemon cards. And I think it's something to do with the Champions Path set. And I think that might be because it's got like a Shining Charizard. But definitely in the UK, at least, a lot of people are back to opening Pokemon cards, trying to get Pokemon, Pokemon cards, rare Pokemon cards, and stuff like that. And yeah, it just
I think
just
two other things really
resurgence
helped it this year. One is that they started streaming the Players Cup, and it just gave TCG a platform. And it never had a platform before.
Here's what I'm sort of saying in relation to that is I'm talking about the mostly sort of casual Pokemon fan crowd where
who just wants to open
they're
cards.
they're just like back into it, and I'm like, oh, awesome.
And the other thing that really helped this year is there were some sales of first edition Charizards that hit the front pages because they went for crazy money.
Yeah,
and I think it just rekindles
that's probably where it kind of came from, because a lot of the titles you see is opening up a first edition box and stuff like that for £12,000 and stuff like that. So that's probably where it's come from. Yeah.
And I don't know if we mentioned the Pokemon Company now has an official Twitch channel. I'm not promoting. Subscribe to the PokeRamble Podcast only.
No, go on. They feed us at the end of the day.
But so they're streaming. They're streaming the Players Cup. They're streaming the podcast there. It's cool.
You can also find it on YouTube as well. They stream on YouTube as well, so that's pretty cool.
But nice that they've got another outlet on Twitch for that kind of content, because I think it's just going to help promote those audiences. And I'm not suggesting that those audiences are ever going to be as large as they are for the main game, but if you're into TCG or you want to learn more about the competitive scene, like, it's nice to have much more coverage than we've ever had before. It's much more accessible than it's ever been before.
The funny thing about the TCG is if you've actually sat down and ever watched it, it's just like, what's going on here? Like, someone puts down a card and they're like shuffling like 15 times, bring out another card, reshuffle 15 times, bring out another card, put the energy on.
TCG is one of those things where you kind of have to pause it, go and Google the card that they've just played, work out what it does, go back to the game, watch them do a whole bunch of things randomly, and then try and match the two up.
I like, very rarely, but it does happen where it'll be like one turn, this guy gets the perfect hand, and it's like, well, it's over for you. There's no way you can come back from this. It was definitely one of those, I think it was Blastoise. There was a Blastoise card back in Gen 6 that was just
and he was holding all 5 pieces of
Exodia, yeah. You know, when the Pokemon Company had said, oh, here's a new way to play the Pokemon TCG, I was thinking, oh yeah, it's gonna be like Yu-Gi-Oh, you're gonna get trap cards and stuff like that. No, it just turns out that there's 2 sets of, like, based on Urshifu, where it's like Strike and whatever the other one's called.
So now they've literally divided Pokemon in half between 2 factions.
Oh god, it's like Lieutenant Surge's War all of a sudden, or like, you know.
Yeah, I think like literally, I was like, oh, it goes back to like the Team Rocket days when there was like a Team Rocket faction, and actually really specific, there was a Team Magma and Team Aqua factions in Gen 3.
Oh yes,
one of those, the Team Magma deck with Groudon, I think, was leading in it, won Worlds that year.
Dude. I really just want another TCG set around, I don't know, either like a gym leader set or like a evil team organization set. Those sets are always my favorite sets. Or Delta Species, bring back Delta Species, please. But I guess now that Delta Species is now a defunct sort of idea now that they've got regional forms.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Delta Species was. Maybe it was just ahead of its time.
It definitely was ahead of its time. It was a very interesting concept. But yeah, TCG's done all right, I guess. VGC, well, we're supposed to have 2020 Worlds this year. Looks to be bumped next year, and hopefully me and you can get some tickets to go.
Mate, I hope to be competing.
Sorry, I hope to get some tickets to go. You hope to be competing. Yeah, just basically because, you know, it's a fun time to be playing. Actually, me and you were supposed to be facing Randolph in that London competition. Do you remember? He was going to be attending it.
Oh yes, I do remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, imagine that came along and it was good. Like, me and you were texting. It's like, are we still going? Are we not going? And then it got cancelled. It was like, yeah, we're not going. That was just before Corona, sort of like the whole realization about it had hit. Yeah. At that point, I was very naive. Like, going to the cinema still until the cinema was like on the day I was going 2 days in a row. On the second day, I was gonna go there. They're like, oh no, we're closed. I was like, oh man, because like the first day I went, there was like 2 other people in the cinema. It was like heaven.
Oh wow, you must have been going like quite late into the lockdown then.
No. Well, just before lockdown hit, essentially.
Fair enough.
So like, there's like people talking about it on the news and stuff like that. There's me just naively thinking, it's nothing or whatever.
Fair enough.
Until reality hit me, with friends and whatnot. But like, I literally went to cinema. There's 2 other people, and I'm like, this is the best cinema experience I've ever had. Just after work, not even like a weird time, like after work when it's supposed to be peak and stuff like that. No, it was fun. Sorry. So television wise, yeah, we're talking about movie wise. Well, we're gonna get our movie next year.
Yep.
For some reason, we're always behind when it comes to these things. So I don't understand why, but hey, it is what it is.
Can I actually know why? Can I explain it?
Go on, hit me.
So because
It's not because they had an app and Pokemon Sleep.
No. When they do the animation, when they do the animating, they do it what the sequencing is. They get the Japanese voice actors to record dialogue.
Are you talking about the lip syncing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the Japanese actors record dialogue. They do the animation to mirror the Japanese voice acting. So then they finish the film, editing, post-production, and then retrospectively go back and get the Western dub done. And that's why it always comes out afterwards.
But it shouldn't be coming out as late as it always does, is my sort of point.
Well, I mean, I watched that. Was it Forbes who did a really good video?
Yeah, with what's her name, the English voice actor.
Yeah, and it's a process. Like, it is a real process.
But it's never. I promise you, it's never going to take you that long to do that.
I don't know. I'm sure it doesn't, but
no, it definitely doesn't. Trust me. One sec. Squeaky chair. Pokemon in 2020. What else stands out for Pokemon in 2020?
Can we talk 2020 merch?
Yeah, go for it.
So, standout winner Pokemon merch this year goes to Pokemon Air for letting you put an inflatable Pikachu anywhere you want in your home to lie on, sit on, ride on.
Don't talk about how you inflate it, please.
And then you can hang out with Pikachu.
Excellent.
That was one of my favourite bits of merch.
That's all I've ever wanted to do is hang out with Pikachu.
I am a little gutted that it's a Japan exclusive and I can't get it for Christmas because I was really hoping to get one.
Last Christmas.
But yeah, that's probably been my favourite bit of merch this year.
Oh, the 2020 Pokemon of the Year is Greninja, apparently.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that was decided.
Yeah, I guess maybe a lot of people
Greninja's
done XYZ. He was like, yeah, Greninja.
Greninja's literally done nothing this year. Not been in the anime, not even available in Sword and Shield, not in Pokemon Masters. Literally just.
I guess it's how they did the voting. They did it by region, didn't they? So the Kalos region, you didn't have too much of
There's no competition.
Yeah, there's not much competition, is there? So it might have just.
There's Greninja, Hawlucha. Some people like Talonflame for some reason.
Hey, Talonflame is dope. It's one of the
Talonflame feels like the baby that Moltres wants to hide away from you. Like Moltres is like, I'm the true king of all Firebirds, and then Talonflame's like, but I'm here too. I love Talonflame. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know if my money Talonflame is right up there. I guess it has to do with how broken it was in Gen 6 as well with Gale Wings. That was
it was very broken.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of any other Gen 6 that's as popular as Greninja or Hawlucha.
I know my friend likes Noibat a lot.
Gumi.
Yeah, Gumi was cute, I guess.
Nah, Gumi was not up there. No, that's it really.
Mega Evolution was probably the standout thing of Gen 6 for me.
Well, that's the thing, right? Half the Gen 6 Pokemon aren't Gen 6 Pokemon.
No, they're just Mega Evolutions.
But no Gen 6 Pokemon.
So shout out to Sylveon, a new evolution. That's always.
That's the weirdest thing. No Gen 6 Pokemon had a Mega Evolution.
Oh, can we talk about Volcanion? Actually, I'm looking at this list now. Volcanion was
sure.
Awesome. I love the fact that it was like.
I feel like all mythical Pokemon go under the radar because they're not in the actual game.
Yeah, I guess you're right. For some reason, it always used to come from Candy Bar, which had always mystified me. But yeah, what's happened in 2020 with Pokemon, eh? I think we've covered it, really, haven't we?
Yeah. We didn't have any Pokemon music this year. We did get Pokemon ASMR again.
Yeah, less said about that, probably the better.
There's a Charmander one and a Pikachu one.
There's definitely more as well, which is Actually, talking about like more kind of cool, neat stuff on YouTube, I guess.
Yes.
So we have like Pokemon Masters, for example, upload all sorts of stuff onto YouTube, like the 1 year anniversary, like OST for Red and Cynthia. They uploaded that really wacky sort of like Looney Tunes, Scraggy and Mimikyu sort of.
That was
cartoon.
fantastic!
Yeah.
Yeah, the Looney Tunes parody. It's not really a parody; it's like a homage.
Yeah,
but it was great.
An homage. You had that really
Homage.
cool Pokemon music video come out. I guess.
Oh yeah, that music video was good.
We heard nothing about Detective Pikachu 2 that was supposed to come to the Switch. Yeah, I guess that's been 2020 in Pokemon, really. I bet you anything, as soon as we turn off this podcast, we're like, oh my god, I can't believe we've got to say that. Oh my god. And we're going to start crying. Yeah, no. I mean, that's all I can think about for 2020 in Pokemon. We had some McDonald's set at some point this year with Pokemon.
I got all of those.
Oh, you lucky son of a gun.
Oh no, so there were multiple McDonald's sets. There was actual McDonald's figurines late last year, and I got all of those. And then this year they had Pokeball disc launchers, and I only have one of those.
Well, remind me next time you go to McDonald's and there's a Pokemon set, I'll just pay you to buy an extra Happy Meal or whatever. You can secure me one as well.
No, I literally just go and buy the toy standalone.
Oh, like from eBay or something?
No. From McDonald's, I just go in and say, can I buy one of each of the toys you've got at the moment? And they're like, yeah, sure. They're 99p each.
Dude, tell me. I'll give you the money next time. Literally.
So the only thing they're a bit weird about is you can't buy more than one, but I'll go in twice or I'll go to different ones.
Yeah, I'll give the money to Sophie then in that case. Just tell her not to spend it on other stuff and buy the Pokemon stuff, please. Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking forward to that next year. Pun Queen Lucy or Pun Queen Sophie.
Did you just... Do I need to clip out that one bit from the podcast and send it to her? And
Pike Queen Lucy, Pun Queen Lucy.
Okay, I just thought you forgot your own betrothed name for a second.
No, I was trying to seed in what we should make her nickname. I have to think of what.
I'll tell you what, your defense is solid at the moment. It's solid.
I couldn't forget. I said her name like 10 seconds before.
I know. I'm just saying this so she doesn't listen to this and be like, "Oh my god, how could he?" Oh, there's another Pokemon 2020 highlight. Your engagement.
Dude, I got engaged this year.
Yeah.
That was a Pokemon highlight as well, actually. Good point.
Tell the listeners if they don't know about it already. Because that was on stream that you revealed that, so it wasn't actually PokeRamble content.
That's true. It wasn't on PokeRamble. So I paid a developer to edit the opening of Pokemon Yellow so that rather than it being Professor Oak saying, welcome to the world of Pokemon, and then giving you his spiel, he reads out an engagement message, and instead of producing Nidorino, he produces an engagement ring.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I will at some point. I will post it to Reddit. Sophie's given me her blessing.
Yeah.
I just need to find a way to like redact some of the more personal bits in the message.
Yeah.
But it was cool. So the guy edited a ROM for me, loaded it onto a cartridge, shipped the cartridge over to me. I put it in the Game Boy that I bought Sophie after 2 weeks that we've been together, gave it to her, and hey, we're engaged now.
Permission to make an inappropriate joke?
Oh, go on. We'll edit it out if we have to.
Do you know like how like there's that joke where, you know, Professor Oak tells you to go on a journey and your mom's by herself and whatnot?
Sure.
So what if like instead of Professor Oak, it was you, Amit, telling the player, yeah, you go off on your journey, and like your mom was actually like, I'll end the joke there, but oh dear.
I don't want to know where you were going with that.
Well, it's a joke that, you know, Professor Oak is visiting Ash's mum.
Oh, I see.
It's a joke. And so instead of Professor Oak could be you. Oh dear.
Deary me.
Yeah. But yeah, and it wasn't just that you did that because it would be a cool idea. It's because it sort of relates to your relationship with Sophie, and it's sort of seen in history or your history that, you know, that replicates that sort of thing.
I mean, it's I don't mind talking publicly about it, but like I'm not very much of a risk taker. And when I bought Sophie that yellow Game Boy, after we'd only been together for 2 weeks, and like it wasn't cheap, right? It wasn't cheap on eBay.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna really make an effort because I really like this person. I was like, she feels like she could be the one, and it was like I feel like that was a moment that was really significant for me, and so I wanted that to be part of the engagement, because for me it was like a really significant turning point in, this is someone I really want to spend more time with, and maybe the rest of my life with, that I'd never felt that way about a person before.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was a big moment.
Well, I'm not going to ruin that moment with another joke. So before I end the podcast, I did mention earlier that Niantic's made hand over fist, and you've already mentioned the numbers and stuff like that. But I do want to give them a shout out on one facet, which is that they've donated roughly 1 million of that towards charities and like donations to some companies during the pandemic. So, it might be like a drop in the ocean for them, but still, at the end of the day, it is money that's going to help people, and
and it's a lot more than other companies are giving.
Yeah, so like just they're giving something at the end of the day at least, and even though it might be a minuscule amount for them, at least it's going to be something to someone, Yeah. So yeah, but that's been our podcast, Pokemon's 2020. What would you rate it out of 10?
What would I rate it out of 10?
Because
I think across the board, I think it is a. Oh, it's hard. I think across the board, it's been 9 out of 10 year.
Ooh, that's high.
And I'll tell you why. There's been a couple of things this year that have really stood out for me. One, the new anime, Pokemon Journeys, has been phenomenal. 2 has been a lot of the side games. And I know Pokemon Masters has gone to pot. I don't know Pokemon Go's got monetization issues.
When we say it's gone to pot, it's still a serviceable game. It's just not.
Yeah, it's still a service. Yeah. But actually, Pokemon Masters has been a real highlight of my year. I really enjoyed trying Pokemon Smile, and there's been lots of other just odd bits here and there that have been really fun. The DLC, particularly the Crown Tundra, was phenomenal. And there are like odd bits here and there that I wish the Pokemon Company had done better. But do you know what? For me, it's been a pretty good year, Pokemon wise.
I was going to give it around a 6 or a 7 out of 10, to be honest with you.
I think that's probably fair.
Yeah, it's been a fun year. It's been a good year by all accounts, really. I don't think they've just moved too much forward into, where it could be, and that's probably for good reason, where they've shifted to a DLC sort of format. And usually at this point of year, we would know what's coming next, and so the Pokemon franchise, and we probably would have already had it by now. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do in 2021, and that'll be his own subject in the new year. But next week we'll be just looking at, well, I guess Pokemon merch, really, for Christmas. Or what kind of merch would we get for Christmas? Even though it's going to be after Christmas. But yeah, look forward to that. As always, I've been Kumail.
And I've been the Frontier Brain Hammer.
And we'll be streaming on Christmas Eve, probably, Wonder Trading Pokemon over here on the channel at twitch.tv/KumailH. So do join us. We'll be giving away Pokemon, Ice Type Pokemon, whatever kind of Pokemon, just Pokemon for Christmas. Having a chat, enjoying Christmas Eve together. That'll be my last working day as well, which I'm quite chuffed about. It's going to be a half day. I've got an exam on Wednesday, which is going to be fun. That's going to be exciting. But after that, I feel like I'm going to be liberated from the world. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, we will catch you next week.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, my friends.